Joined by William Mary head coach Aaron Dickerson-Davis and Bill Nascimento, coachee. First your comments on the victory.
I'm super proud of our team. I think that this is one of the most together we've been all season. We talked about believing. We talked about having faith the size of a mustard seed, not worrying about how the season ended for us, but just moving forward into tournament time. It's March. Anything can happen as long as you believe in yourself and you believe in this team.
Bill, talk about your mentality and of your teammates coming into this weekend.
Yeah, so we knew that this playoff season is 0-0. Everybody's in it to win it. Everybody's gonna fight. Everyone's gonna chip in. But it's all about grit, passion, and heart, and that's what our team brought today. That's what our mentality was to get after it.
All right, questions? Go ahead, Bob.
Bob Flynn covering for the Daily Press and the Pilot. Quite a change from the first game you played against Hofstra just less than 2 weeks ago. Did you notice something from that game? And then also, how'd you get them to, buy in to realizing after that loss you can hang with them?
Yeah, so senior night is a really hard time to play, right? We were graduating 6 players. 5 of them started that game. And also, this was a team that beat us in the tournament the year before, right? They upset us in the 5-12 game. And so I think our team put a lot of pressure on themselves to win, right? They really, really wanted it, and there is a such thing as trying too hard. Everyone was trying to do it on their own in our first game. And we realized that we can't do it that way, right? There was a lot of one-on-one, which is why we only scored 34 points. Like, we hadn't had struggles like that all season. But when we typically stat how many times we swing the ball over 3 times, and we have a high percentage of times to score when we do that, and we maybe had 1 or 2 the entire game. And, we learned from that. We watched it. We tossed it because we knew we had A&T and Campbell coming up. And I think that we had some much better looks against those 2 teams as we come into the tournament. I also think that playing A&T and Campbell before we got here helped prepare us for Hofstra a second time as well. So it was buying into what works, buying into what we've done all season to help us score the basketball, and then buying into each other.
Go ahead.
To either one, but just piggybacking off what you said, tournament, the record is 0-0 now, right? What is it going to take to beat A&T tomorrow?
She's got to do it, so I'll let her start.
To beat A&T is going to be a whole team effort. We know what they like to do. They like to get into the paint. They got Baby Shaq on their team. So we just got to try to take everybody away and take their first moves away. We just ultimately we have to stick together and just play together. Because when we're together, nobody can stop us.
For me, you have to come ready to compete, right? This is number 1. This is a league for the past 2 seasons where the 1 seed has not won the tournament, right? And if I know Coach Robinson, I know that he's going to try to change that tomorrow. So you have to come ready. You have to come ready to compete. You have to buy in the same way you did today to playing together, to believing. And the one thing I put on the board was you got to believe when your faith is tested, right? Like when you hit adversity and we're not scoring the basketball, we're going on a drought, or they're going on a run and I have to call a timeout. Do you still believe the same way you did when we were in the locker room? Right? And so being able to say, y'all, we're good. Everybody just calm down. We've played against this team twice this season. We know what to expect. I'm sure he'll throw some wrinkles in for the postseason, but we know what their players do. We know what they want to do. We know that Jordan Dorsey is going to be on a tear, right? We know that she wanted to be player of the year, so she's going to come out ready to go. And that's the engine that drives them. And so to be able to not just match that intensity, but also exceed it to start the game. And I think if we can start the game that way, it'll give us confidence as we continue through the game.
I think I believe your 3-pointer right at the buzzer before the first half gave you 36 points. That was 2 more than the team had the whole game, last time. What did you notice, or what did you see, and then how did you get your game going? Because you missed your first few shots, but then ended up with, a good performance.
Yeah, it's just a confidence thing. I believe in myself and my teammates. They keep getting me the ball, and they know I can shoot that 3, and they have confidence in me. So with that confidence, it's going up and it's going in every single time. Even if I miss, I'm shooting the next one, and I know it's going in.
Is it kind of like a mentality you have? Just forget about.
Yeah, for sure.
Forget about the last game. And that's with the whole team, not just you. Just learn from that Hofstra game, but then next game up.
Definitely. On the board as well, we put play next, right? That might be next possession. That might be let's get to the next quarter. It might be get to the next half, right? But we had to have a play next mentality. We couldn't stick on anything. This is all you got. This game is do or die, right? So to waste time in a 40-minute game thinking about what you did the previous possession is a waste of time, right? I told a couple of them too, like they get in their head. They're smart kids, like they're perfectionists. They want to do everything the right way. But in your head is a very small space to be, right? Like you got to move on. You got to say, all right, that happened, my bad. When we say it out loud and we acknowledge it, you can move on from it. But when we don't, we internalize it and we can't move on, right? So just making sure that we're playing next at all times. We're getting out of our head and then putting that energy, instead of internalizing it and isolating ourselves, putting that energy into our teammates.
Coach, the third quarter was kind of the difference in the game you guys came, especially the first 5 minutes coming out of the locker room. What changed in that stretch?
We said first 5 minutes out of the half. We knew that was a very important thing for us. Same thing when we started the game. We started the game really well. The first time we played them, the score was 8-7 in the first quarter. So for us to be able to score 18 in that first quarter and get some stops, we held them to 12. That gave us confidence to then go into the second quarter, even though they scored more than us that quarter. Same thing coming out of the half, right? It was, we got to win the first 5 minutes. We always say, try to get them to call the first time out. And if we can do that now, the bench erupts. Everybody is in it. Everybody is locked in. It gives you more confidence. And so that's what we did. We came out. We said, get a turkey, which for us is 3 stops in a row. It'll force them to call a timeout, and that should get us juice to keep going.
What's something that you think Hofstra did well?
For either of us?
Yeah.
No.
Do you want to take the lead on this one?
Yeah. They didn't quit. And that's not surprising. That's a team that, was on a roll, lost one of their best players, point guard, went on a streak where they couldn't win, and then figured it out and went like 5 or 6 in a row to end the season, right? Like that is guts, that's grit, that is determination, that's resilience, that is figuring it out on the fly. And I know that team is going to do that because that's the kind of coaching staff that they have as well.
Anything? Go ahead.
One more, following up your third quarter. I don't know if you realize that. I think you were being out-rebounded by 10 at halftime. In the second half, you out-rebounded them.
I did not know that we out-rebounded them in the second half. I did see that we were down on the boards in the first half, and we had also turned them over like 11 times to like our 3, right? And so we talked about rebounding. That was an emphasis for us the entire week. We didn't focus much on Hofstra or A&T sets, right? We've seen everything all season. We've seen stagger screens and flares, and we know how to guard it. We know how we want to guard it. So we spent like over half of our practices just doing box out and rebounding drills. That is going to be important for us today and tomorrow, and as long as we go. Rebounding has been an Achilles heel for us since I've been here. And, I would love to say that it's height that matters. It's not. Like, you have to have the will to go get the ball. We also write on the board, relentless pursuit of the basketball. If you don't box out, okay, but go get it, right? Go get it with 2 hands. So I'm glad that we were able to address that at the half and then come out and execute that. And I think it also helped. We were forcing them to miss some shots, right? So that helped us get some more rebounds as well.
All right. Anything else? All right. Congratulations. We'll see
Thank you,
tomorrow.
guys.
Yeah.